What's going on, everybody? This is Island Hopper TV coming to you from Bali with the best things to do. Let's do it.
That's right, everybody. We've got 35 things for you to do in Bali, starting out here at Mount Agung. This is the largest volcano on the island, and it stands over 3,000 meters. That's almost 10,000 feet above sea level. A majestic sight. And while you're up at Mount Agung, you can actually visit Amed Beach, which is a very popular beach destination for people who do diving and snorkeling. We took a boat tour out here on the ocean around the Amed Beach area. You can see Agung in the distance. Really a beautiful place to go. They have a few different dive sites out here. You can also do a sunset tour, which is beautiful because you get the Mount Agung vista views from the waterfront.
So we see some starfish, blue starfish. Let's see what else is under here. Maybe some turtles.
Now, diving in Bali is very popular, and people do come up to the northeast side of the island like Amed or even towards Nusa Penida. I personally did some snorkeling and I found some coral reefs out here, also turtles, plenty of these blue starfish out here in the ocean. So definitely come on out here to the northeast side of the island towards Nusa Penida for diving. Amed Beach has plenty of different dive schools, and it's a lot more laid back than the south side of the island. Now here we are at Sunset Point. Here you can get a great view of Agung while drinking your favorite beverage, hanging out in the infinity pool, or just coming up here and having a bite to eat and enjoying this beautiful sunset you can see right here. Look at these colors. Almost every night you're gonna get beautiful colors. They do have a $20 minimum spend in order to get a table here, but you can see as the sun goes down, it gets even more spectacular, so it might be worth it. All right, now we're done at Mount Agung and we're gonna head over to Sekumpul Waterfall. This is one of my favorite waterfalls in all of Bali, and the main reason is because it's so tropical. It's like a fern gully out here. Now there is an entrance fee to get in here. Last I checked, it was 125,000 Indonesian rupiah, which is around $7. And it's nearby Mount Batur, which is the second largest volcano on Bali. While up here, you can check out Kintamani, but what people really like to do is glamping in Kintamani. It's a place that has beautiful sunrises. Also, if you're into temples, you may want to check out Ulan Danu. Now, this is probably one of the most photographed temples in all of Bali. It sits right here along the lake. Now, here we are in Kelingking Beach. This is in Nusa Penida, which is an island area. They also have Diamond Beach over here. So if you can, get a tour out here to Nusa Penida, or maybe even stay over on the island and check out these beaches. Now, here we are on the southern part of Bali. This is Uluwatu's Suluban Beach. Here, known mostly for surfing. You'll see a lot of people coming out here for that, but also people come here for swimming. Just beware, the currents can be quite strong at times. They also have a popular beach restaurant and bar area here called Single Fins, and you can watch people surfing from up here. You'll see lots of photography going on as well. The surf breaks down here are for more experienced surfers, so if you're just a beginner, don't even try coming out here. Now here we are at Uluwatu Temple. This is another famous temple on the island. This is on the southern part, known for its high cliffs. The price is 50,000 Indonesian rupiah for adults, 20,000 for kids. You will see lots of monkeys here, and they can be a bit aggressive, so keep an eye on those little suckers. Because monkeys are known to take your water, your cell phone. I even saw a monkey take one of the man's shoes. He was wearing flip-flops, and he wouldn't give it back unless he got a treat. And you can see here the monkey actually shows his teeth. He means business. The main reason I point this out is because the monkeys are not always going to be friendly. But while you're up here, you can check out the traditional dance known as the Kecak Dance. It's like a fire dance, and they do it at the evening time during sunset hours. Here at the amphitheater, you can see from high above, it's right there on the cliffs. And then as the sun goes down, you get this fire show, really impressive. They do have two different shows, and the price is around 120,000 Indonesian rupiah for adults. Staying in Uluwatu here, we're at the Rock Bar. Now there are a few different sunset bars that you can hang out on the west side of the Uluwatu Point area here, but Rock Bar is definitely one of my favorites. Like I showed you earlier, they had Suluban, which is a lot more laid back. That's more the surfer vibe. This is going to be a lot more upscale. It's at the Ayana Resort. They do have a minimum spend of around 250,000 IDR, which is about 20 US dollars. So take that into consideration. Also, as I'm talking prices here, I just want to let you guys know that $1 equals about 15,500 Indonesian rupiah. So take that into consideration when it comes to the currency, because here in Indonesia, the currency is the IDR, Indonesian rupiah, not USD. It's not accepted here. Neither is the Aussie dollar or any other currency for that matter here in Bali or Indonesia. But the good news is here they do take the credit card or debit cards, mostly Visa or MasterCard in Bali. And I'm just giving you some background on how to transact so you can prepare for that. For those of you bringing money from overseas, you will have money changers. But check out these views here at the Rock Bar. Definitely worth a night here getting dressed up to experience it. With some beautiful sunsets, party vibes, tasty drinks, and delicious food. Staying here in Uluwatu area. Now here we are at Garuda Wisnu Temple Cultural Park. This is known for its statue, but also they've turned this whole grounds area into a really special place that they're continuing to develop. Construction on the project actually began in 1993, but wasn't completed until 2018 because construction halted for 16 years. And the significance of the story behind the Garuda bird and Vishnu, who rides on the bird in Hinduism, can be told while you're here at the cultural park. They do have gardens and other statues around here, so it is worth checking out the entire grounds. The ticket price to get in here is around 125,000 Indonesian rupiah. That comes out to around $9 US, depending on where you're coming from. You might want to check the currency rate for these prices that I'm giving you, by the way, as we continue to show you around Bali. But definitely a great place to go. Also, if you guys are enjoying this video, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. So let's keep this tour moving. Now, as you can see, the Garuda statue is quite amazing, and you might be wondering, can you go inside? And in fact, yes, you can go inside and do a Garuda statue tour. They have two different levels that you go up to. You take the elevator to the 9th floor, you watch an animated film about the mythology behind the actual statue, and then you end up going up to the 23rd floor where you get some nice views looking down towards Kuta and around Bali. The statue is 121 meters high, that's 397 feet, primarily made of copper, brass, and imported materials from Japan, Europe, and mostly manufactured in Java. And the ticket price is 250,000 Indonesian rupiah. Now here we are at Sanur Beach. This is definitely one of my favorite areas to stay in all of Bali. It's a lot calmer and more relaxed than Kuta, Legian, Seminyak, Canggu. I would say the crowd over here tends to be a bit more mature or older in age. And because of that, the experience is going to be a bit different. They do have fire shows on the beach. This one here was at the Hyatt Regency. People who were watching this show were also eating their buffet on the beach. Beautiful environment, especially at night when the weather's a bit better. So fire show is something to do in Bali. What we'll do now is show you one of the new attractions here in Sanur. Here we are now at Icon Bali Mall. For those of you who've been to Bangkok, you know about Icon Siam. Well, this is Icon Bali right here in Sanur Beach. And really an amazing mall. It's not quite as big as Icon Siam, but it has that indoor market, also that cool vibe, indoor outdoor kind of feeling, very modern. So if you're looking for a nice new mall, this one just opened, I think, in June of 2024. So it's brand new. Now, if you do plan to stay in Sanur Beach, the best place on the island, in my opinion, to stay for relaxing, chill vibes with access to the beach, where the water is more calm, not as much waves. This Icon Siam is towards the north part of the actual beach, but it doesn't matter where you stay in Surin, it's going to be a good time. So from Sanur Beach and the Icon Mall, we're headed across the island to Kuta Beach. This is about an hour drive away. And here in Kuta Beach, you're going to find lots of nightlife. And you can see here clubs right here along Jalan Legian. Jalan Legian and Kuta kind of go hand in hand, the two cities. But let's now change gears here and check out some rice terraces. This one here is Maha Gangga. It's not as famous as the other ones on the island, but I think the setting here is more relaxing, and it's in between Amed Beach and some of the other villages along the coast. So if you're looking for rice terraces, I would consider going to the village here of Maha Gangga and checking it out. They also have some of those swings. Really a beautiful setting here. It's not quite as touristy.
Yeah, so here we are at Tirta Gangga Temple. Very beautiful temple complex. Walk around. It's 70,000 rupiah per adult foreigner. So definitely come here if you're in the northern part of Bali.
You can also visit Tirta Gangga Temple, which is right next to Maha Gangga, so you're going to get 2 for 1. But you can see here, this is a water temple. They've got an area where people actually swim, which is kind of surprising that people are able to do that here at this temple. But either way, they've got lots of koi fish. You can feed them, and they have other animals that you'll see outside the gate, like flying foxes and anacondas. So this is an interesting temple. It doesn't have that same kind of jungle vibe that most of the temples in Bali have, but it's unique in its own way, being that it's a water temple. Also, I'd like to let you guys know that we do have a channel called Island Hopper TV Hotels. I currently reviewed about 12 to 15 hotels on the island of Bali. So you guys can actually go over to that channel, Island Hopper TV Hotels, and watch all of those hotel tours. I did some tours in Amed. I also did some tours right here next to Tirta Gangga. And then I did some tours in Legian, Uluwatu, and some of those other areas. So I highly recommend you guys go over to our other channel and check out Island Hopper TV Hotels. But here, walking around Maha Gangga, you can see all of these koi fish. They're quite big, and people like to come here and take pictures walking across these stones as they go across the Balinese-style koi fish ponds. Really a great experience. I just can't stress how relaxing it is up here in the northeast side of Bali, right next to Mount Agung. I'm surprised so many people spend all their time in the southern part of Bali when they could be coming up here to the northeast, getting away from all of that hustle and bustle and the traffic. Especially since the traffic on Bali just continues to get a little bit more difficult and congested as time goes by, as it continues to grow in popularity.
All right, guys, now here we are at Virgin Beach.
Virgin Beach is one of the best beaches here on Bali, and it's on the northeastern side of the island. It's not quite so virgin anymore, but still worth exploring.
So here we are at Bug Village.
I gotta be honest with you, the village name caught my attention. At first I thought it was Bug, but it's Bug, and I just wanted to check it out, so we came up here. It's one of these villages that's not popular yet with tourists. So if you want to come up here and see how the locals actually live without being infiltrated by millions of tourists every single year, then come up here to Bug. It's nearby the Virgin Beach, and again, it's on the northeast side of the island. Even if it means just a quick stop for 15 to 20 minutes to walk around, maybe try some Balinese cakes, it could be worth it for some of you. But the actual village in the area that you may want to explore for more of a cultural experience is Tenganan Village. And this one here, they're into cotton textiles. They also talk about some of the old techniques and rituals for farming and lifestyle. The people up here were telling me that their ancestors used to walk around barefoot, grow their hair very long without cutting it, and they would live to be 100 years old, and they would drink coffee and eat a banana in the morning for breakfast. And still to this day, they drink the fresh spring water from the Mount Agung Springs. But again, the fact that they lived to be 100 so frequently, I was interested in that, and it seemed to go back to gardening while barefooted in the mud to continue to be grounded. Heading over to another temple here. This here is Goa Gaja. Now this one's really interesting because it's in this ravine crevice area where they have a creek and flowing water going through here. Unfortunately, the concrete jungle that Bali continues to expand into is growing around the beautiful area of Goa Gaja, but they've still managed to preserve the jungle area here, and you still feel like you're inside the forest of Bali, even though you're really just inside of what is becoming the urbanization of Bali. And from here, we're headed over to some rice terraces. This here is Tegalalang. And Tegalalang is the most famous rice terrace on all of Bali. And there are a few, but this one seems to be the number one that people like to go to. And it's these cascading rice terraces that lead down to a stream. Very beautiful setting here. They have those swings, and many different spots to take pictures for those of you who want to wear a nice dress and take pictures while on the swing. This is one of those best places you would do that here in Bali. Here they also have local rice farmers who will take pictures with you, but they'll expect a tip, so take that into consideration. If you do agree to take a picture, the next thing that's going to follow that is going to be, okay, give me a tip please. And obviously that's something you will need to oblige. Now we're headed over to Tegenugan Waterfall. This is probably the most famous waterfall that most of you are staying in Kuta, Legian, or maybe even Ubud, Sanur will probably end up coming over here or being asked if you want to go to this waterfall. The water flows very fast here, and the waterfall is quite big. You can swim here as well. And not so far away is probably the best water temple on the island. This is Tirta Empul. Now people come here for the water blessing. You can get in one of these pools where the water cascades onto your head, and no bathing suits. You have to wear a sarong. Now here we are at Tanah Lot. This is another temple. This one is just about northwest of Seminyak and Canggu. So if you're in that area, you'll probably end up going to this temple at some point in time. It's on an island, and it's really an interesting place because depending on the tide, you can walk out to the island. I would say go there at sunset for the best pictures. But before sunset, there will be less crowds, so pick and choose what you prefer. Now we're going to actually head out to the island of Lombok. Now you can get to Lombok from Bali by ferry or airplane. It just depends which one you want to do. Obviously, if the seas are rough, you probably want to take the plane. But the ferry is faster. They also have the Gili Islands. There's a few different islands. They're known Gili T and some of the other ones, Gili Air, and you can visit those from Lombok quite easily. Now here we are at Canggu Beach. This is a great place for younger people who come out here for the beach clubs, cheaper prices, but traffic out here has been known to be a bit tough. But these beaches are fantastic for nightlife, especially. I just hung out down here and did a bonfire, hung out with the locals at the surf school. By the way, if you're looking to do a surf school or get surf lessons, you can come out here to Canggu and really have a good time. I hung out with these guys at the Tiki Surf School surf lessons, so check them out. At the evening time, we did a bonfire and sang live music, and that was a good time as the moon was rising over the ocean. Really fantastic. They also have some modern beach clubs like Finn's. Finn's is one of the most popular places with young people to party around the pool. And then they have Atlas. The difference between Atlas and Finn's, Atlas has a cover charge, but it's a lot larger, more relaxed, not as crowded. Finn's doesn't have a cover charge, but you have to actually purchase the cabana or wherever you want to sit at the table. So I would definitely say that Canggu is where you want to go for those nightclubs and the party, especially after 7 p.m. or starting around sunset. And now here we are at Ubud. Now Ubud is a bit cooler than being down in the Kuta Legian or Seminyak Canggu area. So people like to come up here. It's become famous with artists, so it's got an art market. It's a really artistic community. It continues to grow in popularity. Unfortunately, the roads are not growing, which means the traffic is building here. So do keep that in mind when coming up to Ubud. I would say it's better to stay up here and make it a base than it is to come up here for a day trip, because you'll spend 2 hours just to get up here, and most of that will be spent in stop and go traffic. But Ubud is still worth checking out when you visit Bali. And if you guys enjoyed this tour of Bali, please give it a like, subscribe to our channel, watch some more of our other videos, including our full Indonesia travel guide.